Baby, you're a Stitch Man. Baby, you're a Stitch Man. Baby, you're a Stitch Man. Duh. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Good morning, FLOSSTUBE. How is everybody doing today? Me? Since you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway, I'm doing spectacularly well because this entire week, the whole week, from like week one weekend to the next weekend, we are getting nothing but cold, windy rain. It's spectacular. I wish it would stay like this all year long. In my dreams, this is what it feels like living in Scotland.
Welcome to All Things Scottish. Our slogan is, if it's no Scottish, it's crap!
So it's good to sit here and see everybody, even though I can't see anybody. It's good to sit here and talk to you all again. It's been a little while since I made one of these kind of updates. I did do my unboxing video a couple of weeks ago, if you want to call it that. if you missed, you might want to do yourself a favor and go back and check it out, because it was more than an unboxing. It was an amusement park ride. So anyway, hello and welcome back, or welcome. I never do the hello and welcome to my channel that everybody else does. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome for the first time. Is this your first time here? How is that even possible? If this is your first time here, how did that even happen? What are you doing here? Oops. I mean welcome. I'm glad to have you here. I hope you have a good time here. And if this is not your first time here, I guess I could ask the same question. What are you doing here? How are you still here? I feel like there are some people who I know there are some people who have been here watching me since the very beginning. Wow. You deserve some kind of a prize for that. Actually, that might not be a bad idea. I might write that down for next time. People who have been with me since the beginning, or for like a long enough time, which is 1+ video, I guess. It's been a while since I've done any sort of giveaway or anything. I have no reason to. That's a good reason to. Have you watched multiple videos? You do deserve some kind of a prize for that. All right, I'm going to try to get to the point and stay focused and on topic today. I'm busy today. I got shit to do today. I can't just sit here all morning goofing around like I normally do. I have important business to attend to. Business. Stitch Lady Melissa actually has a job now, and she works from home. She's upstairs right now in her little office area, so she'll be down in a couple of hours for lunch. And there's nobody home right now. All the kids are in school. It's just me and her. So, you know what that means. House to ourselves. You know what that means. Huh? That means I'm gonna make lunch for her. So let's do it. Let's get right to it. Let's before I start talking about me and all the things that involve me and all the wonderful things that I've been doing, me. Let's first, before we do that, talk about something that's even more important than that. And that is me.
Stitch Man Darcy, what you stitching on? What you stitching on, my Stitch Man? Mr. Stitch Man is a designer. Stitch Man is a stitching on his own things, yeah. Mr. Stitch Man is a stitching on his own stitchings, yeah. Mr. Stitch Man, tell me what you stitching on? What you stitching on, Mr. Stitch Man? Your own stitching. Ow! Yeah! Tell me!
Okay, so I've got a few new designs in my shop that I'm excited about, and I think that one or two of you might like one or two of them, which is exciting enough that anybody besides me likes anything. That really, really gets me like just jumping out of my seat with excitement. I also realize I don't make as big of a deal of like, hey, I've got a new thing that I worked on and I like, it's up now and people can see it. I don't turn it into a whole like unveiling like I probably should. It's not really a good marketing strategy. I kind of just sneak them in there in the middle of the night and just wait and see if anybody finds them. It's not really the best way to do it, I don't think. But anyway, one of them, which I mentioned before, is here. I'll get it out of the way here. This one right here, which I told you I showed you. I got some Roxy floss to stitch that with, and that I was going to at least get it started so I could show you how it's coming together. And I did that. I'm not going to show you, but I did it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll show you. It's right here. Whoop! Look at that. Coming together nicely, don't you think? It's not done yet. Hang on a second. My eye's itchy. Coming together as nicely as I was hoping that it would. I think that's looking pretty sharp. Don't you? Sharp as a tack? Sharp as a razor? Sharp as your old Stitch Man friend here? It is a little bit... Hang on. It is a little bit finicky with the like to try to get, see how it like, you know, it kind of like Jesus fucking Christ. Down here where the like the arm of his cloak is kind of shredded, or like the way that this curves and comes to a point, you know, it's a little bit, that's not easy to do when you're dealing with like square X stitches. It's a little bit finicky, not too bad, like it's not, it's fine, but a little bit. Wow. A little bit finicky to get that to look just right. But if you're afraid of something that's just a little bit finicky, then why the hell are you a cross stitcher in the first place? The entire thing is finicky. It's a finicky hobby. I will just say that if you do buy it and start stitching it, like the chart itself, I kind of, in order to get it filled in like that, there's a bunch of little like, you know, quarter stitches and just like fill in stuff. So there's not, just to fill in that space, they're not all full X's. You don't have to do it exactly like quarter stitch for quarter stitch the way that I charted it. You can just sort of like fill that in any way that you can fill it in. That's kind of what I did. I kind of just like, I kind of just, anywhere I saw an empty space that I wanted filled in, I just filled it in as best I could. So you don't have to just be like completely, you know, like the chart is written in stone. However you want to do it to make it look the way you want it to look, do it that way. It's kind of just a guideline. It's a guideline. So anyway, I'm quite happy with that. I'm really happy with the floss that I chose. I should have that done by the next time I sit here. The floss that I used is a Roxy Floss charcoal, which I think is really nice. You can kind of, I don't know how well you can tell in here, but it's quite variegated, which is what I wanted. See that little star thingy there? Can you see that? Can you see it? Can you see it? You can tell when you look up close that my camera doesn't focus very well, or maybe I just don't know what I'm doing, but that it's you know, it's kind of light and dark. You can see that too in here with Death himself, which is that's what I was going for. That's what I wanted him to look like. That's why I chose the floss like that. But you do whatever you want if you want to stitch this. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm happy with my choices. I think it's coming together well, and I think that I'm the best designer ever, don't you?
That's right. That's right.
I snuck a couple of other things in there too late at night when nobody was looking. I've got this one right here. I've been in kind of a Salvador Dali kind of a mood, and I sure do love that mustache. So I whipped this up real quick. A couple of you have already found it and told me how much you like it, so thank you for that. If the rest of you want to check it out, there's a link to my shop below. A link right there. All I have to do is click on it. I also realized that there's a disturbing lack of cats in my shop right now. Like, my entire shop basically should be cats and skulls. When I started deciding that I wanted to do my own things, really all I wanted to do was skulls and cats. And there's not enough of either one of those things. Like the whole shop should be called Skulls and Cats, but there's not enough. So I whipped up this one right here, whipped up like as if it was like no work at all. I actually put a lot of work into this. These cross-eyed lover cats right here, which I think are pretty cute. I really like stuff like this. They've got eyes that kind of look like Cookie Monster. That was not intentional, but when I got them finished. I was like, why does that look so familiar? It's just that's the kind of brain that I have. I'm childish. So be on the lookout in the next month or two also for some more cat things, because I have not nearly enough cats in my shop, and my shop should be full of cats. So soon it will be full of cats. Also, one other thing that I'm actually going to get started soon. I know this is going to take away a little bit from Jimmy, which has already taken me way too long. But hang on. I needed and wanted a sort of like a companion to go along with Jimmy. Now, they're not really related in any sort of way other than the fact that I love them both. That's how they're related. Jimmy Stewart is my favorite of like what you might consider the old-timey movie stars. And not that this next guy is not also kind of getting to be a little bit old-timey, but more somebody that I grew up with, like once I started to love movies. He's been my favorite actor since I was a kid, and he still is. So I whipped this one up too to go along. So when I get them both done, I'm going to have these two black and white faces of the two greatest movie stars that, in my opinion, are... So I'm going to have two things to go together there. Jimmy, Jack, two black and white faces, side by side, two greatest movie stars of all time, my two favorites. Might take me 5 or 10 years to get them up there, but as we discussed, I'm going to live forever, so that doesn't really bother me. So we've got Jimmy, we've got Jack, we've got black and white, we've got cats, we've got death, we've got skulls, we've got everything that we could possibly desire. So that's the end of that. All right, so that's it for talk about me, and now more talk about me. Me. Ooh, that sounds out of tune. Okay, so you might remember last time, if you watched my last Flosstube, that I sort of half-jokingly called out Kaylee from Kaylee Cross Stitch for not doing any new little intro songs for me for my whips, like she has always done in the past. So I was joking about that. I mean, half joking. Obviously, if she's gonna do me some songs, I'm gonna use them. But like, I was joking, half joking. Anyway, so somebody got wind of that and started just left, right, and center, just sending me, here's a song, here's a song, here's a song, here's another version of that song, and here's another version of that song. And it wasn't Kaylee that was doing that. It was somebody that you might know who, even more than me, can you think of anybody besides me who demands the spotlight be on them all the time? If somebody else is getting a little bit of attention, no, we can't have that. Me. Give it back to me. Everybody focus on me. Does that sound like anybody that you know besides me? Because it sure sounds like somebody that I know.
Hello, my name is Jacob de Graaf, and I am the owner and designer of Modern Folk Embroidery.
So, first up, Alice in a Dali dream. Let's take a look and a listen to what Alice looked like last time.
It's crazy that Kaylee is so lazy. She hasn't done a song for Darcy to sing, so here it is. Alice in a Dali dream. Alice in a Dali dream. Alice in a Dali dream. Alice in a Dali dream.
Not bad, right? I actually have 4 different versions of that song, which I'm sure at some point in the coming weeks and months, you'll hear all 4 different versions of them. So here's what Alice looks like today. I don't know if that's spectacularly different than it looked like last time. I was actually hoping to get this whole page done, but I got a little distracted when my Roxy Floss showed up and I started working on my own thing instead. Me. But that's not, I definitely did work on it, because as soon as I got that Jacob song, I started working on it right away, because lovelily too, I told him that that's going to be, because I really do want to be Holy fuck, man. 4 half thoughts all strung together there that make no sense at all. I told Jacob that not only do I love that because I just love when he like does silly shit for me, but I really do want to be working on this, which I've been whining about for a couple of years now, that I'm not getting enough progress on this as I would like. But having a song like that I'm going to want to be playing every single time is actually motivation to be working on it, which is exactly what happened. As soon as he sent me that song, I started working on it. So there's actually not that much left. On camera here, it looks like more than it is, but that's actually not that much. And that'll be the end of page 2 and a nice little chunk of her head. So we'll see what I can do in the next few weeks. But look forward to more progress on this because I'm going to want to play that Jacob song. Now, as if that wasn't enough, after that, I had my phone, I'm sitting there, I'm working on Alice, and I'm minding my own business, doing my own thing. And all of a sudden my phone starts going ding, 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 ding. And when that starts happening, it's only one of two people. It's my sister or it's Jacob, because they're the only two people that send me rapid fire messages like that. And it was Jacob. It was Jacob with another song for another whip. Sunflower Cottage. So let's take a look and another little listen to what Sunflower Cottage looked like last time.
Sun is out and all is good, shines on our neighborhood and the Sunflower Cottage. Flowers reach toward the sky, love is in the air, and I don't know why I love the Sunflower Cottage. Oh, I love the Sunflower Cottage, but I don't know why.
Not bad, right? Not bad. I don't know. Kaylee better step it up a little bit, otherwise it's gonna be the Jacob theme song channel. We can't have that, can we? Can we? Maybe we can. No, we can't. So here's what Sunflower Cottage looks like today. Almost exactly the same as it looked like last time. I did do a little bit because I wanted to legitimately, I was going to show it anyway, even if I didn't work on it, because I wanted to play that song. But at least it's legit that, like, look, I worked on it a little bit just so I can play that song. But again, motivation. I don't have time for everything. I want to be working on everything. I really, really do. I do love working on this. I love working on all my whips. Otherwise, I wouldn't be working on them at all. But that is kind of motivation to make a little. I've been looking for motivation for the last 2 or 3 years, however long I've been working on this, to make just a little bit of progress on it, because I do love working on it and I do want to make progress on it. And now I've got a little bit of motivation because, just like the other one, I'm going to want to play that song every time. So there's that. So there, motivation to be working on it. Make a little bit of progress on it because we want to see progress and we want to hear Jacob sing. Don't we all just love hearing Jacob sing? Hey, speaking of which, wait a minute, what am I even doing? This is the Jacob singing show, and I didn't even start off the thing with. That's not the only song Jacob's ever sung for me. Let's start over. Look, what are we, 45 minutes in right now? Let's just start over from the beginning properly.
You're a Stitch Man, you're a Stitch Man, baby, you're a Stitch Man. Baby, you're a Stitch Man, you're a Stitch Man.
Ah, there. That feels better, doesn't it? Now that we've got that out of the way, I've got a much bigger treat for you right now. And actually, you might want to just you might want to get another drink, get another snack, settle in. Maybe we'll even take a short intermission here so that you can get mentally prepared for what you're about to see next.
End of part 1. Intermission. End of intermission. Part 2.
So after Jacob caught wind of Kaylee not sending me songs and he stepped in and started sending me songs, Kaylee got wind of that Jacob was starting to send me songs. And she had a little bit of a response of her own, which she sent to me. And I'm going to share with you right now. Strap yourselves in. Here we go.
Oh, I didn't see you there. But while I have you, let me tell you a little story. My name is Kaylee Cross-Stitch. I am the girl who writes little jingles written specifically for Stitch Man Darcy. And there's a few people gunning for my job. Fuck you, Jacob of modern folk embroidery. I absolutely despise you and your little songs. Fuck you, Jacob. Didn't you hear my Stitch Lady Melissa song? Fuck you, Jacob. Don't come for my job. My name is Kaylee Cross-Stitch. I am the girl who writes the little jingles written specifically for Stitch Man Darcy. There's a few people gunning for my job. Fuck you, Jody, Trixie, Tricycle. I like bees and dyeing fabric and also writing little jingles for Darcy. Fuck you, Jody. Didn't you hear my FLOSSTUBERsary one? Fuck you, Jody. Don't come for my job. I know that I've been slacking and Darcy called me out, not so subtly, but I'm a fucking teacher. What do you expect from me? I mean, how can you ignore the theme song? I'm basically the most creative and musical person on FLOSSTUBE, can't you see? Fuck you, Jacob of modern folk embroidery. Fuck you, Jacob, don't come for my job. Fuck you, Jody of Trixie Tricycle. I'm just kidding. I love you both so much and you're so talented that, okay, bye.
Pretty good, right? That was pretty good. I'm causing war and I'm causing chaos amongst all the FLOSSTUBERs, which is exactly the way I planned it. What does that even mean? I don't know. I'm just saying, I still don't have that Moonstone song. So anyway, let's settle back into a little bit of normalcy here. And let's listen to Kaylee introduce Chessie. Let's see what Chessie looked like last time.
This is what Chessie looked like last time you saw it. Darcy probably regrets asking me to do this.
And here's what Chessie looks like this time. Now, do you notice anything different about this? If you remember my last video where I did my Q-stap demonstration, all I'm drinking is coffee. What's going on? This one has a bit of a Jacob connection and story to go along with it too. This is it's the all Jacob episode. Jacob. I might as well just put his name in the title. Forget Stitch Man. It's Jacob Tube. So if you remember my last video where I did a Q-snap demonstration to tell you how I put the Q-snap on, I got it all done. I got it all the way I wanted it. But this is not how and where I put that Q-snap on, is it? Is it? Do you remember? I expect that you remember every last little detail about every single one of my videos, right? Don't you?
That's right. That's right.
Well, I was talking to King Jacob, who gave me some, like, as hard as it is to admit, very good advice. Because a lot of you, and I have sort of been debating too. Once I get to the end of the top part here, I might have to just show you what it looked like last time so you can see what I'm talking about. Once I get all the way to the end over there, Chessie himself is going to be completely finished. And all that's left along the bottom here, this whole strip, is like tree and background. Some people have suggested I just don't even do that at all. I don't think that I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to want to do the whole thing, even though this isn't as fun and exciting as stitching the actual kitty cat. So I got some very good words of wisdom from Jacob. This is why he's, as hard as it for me to say, this is why he's the king. Someday my brain will work the same way his does, and I'll be your new king. But until then, I'm going to have to just say, okay, Jacob, good thinking. That was a good idea, and I'm going to take your advice and do that. So here's what he suggested. Because the bottom strip here, they're not full pages. They're kind of almost like half pages. And if I go over here and I finish Chessie, and Chessie is all finished, I'm not going to have a lot of motivation to stitch this bottom part because it's so just sort of like backgroundy and boring. It might go a little bit slower, like I want to get the thing done, but like it's not as fun, kind of a thing, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So Jacob suggested that if I leave Chessie to the end, come down here, start doing this bottom strip that I know I'm going to want to be doing anyway. The pages are smaller, so they're quicker victories for me. I'll get them all done, and what I'll be left with at the very end is the second half of Chessie himself. And when Chessie's finished, the entire thing is finished. So now I've got more motivation to do this boring bottom strip so I can get back to actual Chessie. And when I get back to actual Chessie, that will be the end. I will finish with Chessie. The whole thing will be done. Okay, I admit it. That was a good idea, and that is what I'm going to do. Thanks, King.
Hello, my name is Jacob de Graaf.
One last thing, last but not least, the main reason you're all here to begin with, and the thing that I almost forgot about. Look, I'm going to show you the notes that I wrote out for what I wanted to talk about today. I got all the way to the end here, and I was like, look, that's it. That's all I've got. I've got Jacob, and I've got Chessie, and I've got all these things, and like, I guess I'm all done. Oops, I forgot something. Nevermore. Duh, the centerpiece of the entire video. I finished Nevermore. So let's have one last time. Let's listen to James Earl Jones. Take a look what it looked like last time for the last time.
And the raven, ever flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
And here it is in all its finished glory. Nevermore is Nevermore. I don't even think I need to say much about it. It's spectacular. Let's just look at it. Look, I'm going to keep talking anyway because silence in videos is a little bit awkward. But look, there's that, and then there's that, and then there's the raven, and then there's things, and there's green stuff, and there's variegated stuff, and there's leaves, and there's words. It's everything. It's everything. So I'm starting to amass quite a pile of finished stitchings that need to be framed. And it's getting a little bit overwhelming because, like, you know, if it's just one or two, okay, it's just one or two. But when it becomes a stack, I don't even know where to begin. What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna start? I don't have money for everything. Someday I will, but today I don't. But I do actually think that this one might jump to the top of the pile. I need to fully finish something. It's been too long since I've, like, you know, I keep just finishing stuff and just like rolling them up and putting them in a drawer or something like that. I've got to stop doing that. I really have to stop doing that. What's the point if I can't, like, finish them and see them? I think this one might jump to the top of the pile. I'm going to take this in to my frame dude and see what he says and actually get this fully finished and framed in the very near future. So that's another thing to look forward to. This won't be the last time you see it because I want this up. It's awesome. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Isn't it? I'm complimenting Lila from Lila's studio, not me. I mean, I stitched it well. The colors are awesome. The stitches are beautiful, but it's not my design. It's the design is spectacular. Don't you think? I love it. For the most part, I used all of the called for colors. A couple of variations here and there. Like, I think the letters were supposed to be in the same variegated black board that this border is in. I think that's what it called for, and I just used black. But, like, you know, minor things. For the most part, this is the called for floss. This is what it will look like if you stitch it too. It's a lot of fun to do. It's spectacular. It's gorgeous. I love it. Love it. Okay, so I think that now that I remembered to do that, the main event of the video, I didn't forget. I think that actually is where I'm going to leave it for today. I will be back relatively soon in, I think, 16, 17, 18 days, something like that. Check your calendars and you'll see why. We went through this last year. We're doing it again this year. Believe it or not, that's where we are in the year so far. You're going to throw up when you remember, when you look and see, but we're going to be back very, very soon so that I can ruin summer for you. Until then, thanks for watching. Keep stitching. Check out any of the people that I might have mentioned because they're awesome too. Check out my shop. There's a link below. It's the very first thing you'll see. All you have to do is click on it. Just click on it. Click on it and buy some shit. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but yeah, whatever. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I love you all. I'll see you next time.